Welcome to my kitchen. Today I thought I'd share my extreme minimalist kitchen with you. I cook all meals at home, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so I definitely think I have all the appliances and tools needed, but I definitely have a much more minimalist kitchen than anyone else I know. I live in quite a small apartment, but we have a pretty big kitchen, so I'll share what's in my cupboard and what's in my entire kitchen, and then I'll finish off with the fridge if you want to see what I usually have in my fridge. So this is our entire kitchen where we have an oven, a dishwasher, and quite a lot of storage. And we also have quite a big fridge, so we keep most of our food in there. Starting from our first drawers in the kitchen, we have our cutlery. We have about one set of cutlery per person, measuring cups, a kitchen scissor, and just a few kitchen accessories. Now, I know we don't have enough cutlery or plates or bowls to host a big gathering, so if that's something you regularly do, you might want to have more bowls and plates than us. But a good rule that I like to think about is that we have one for each in the household and then two extra. You really rarely need more than two extra, and people can always, you can make it do. You can eat with forks or you can eat with a spoon. It doesn't really matter. In our next drawer, we keep all our spices. We also have some spices that we use less often and that we don't buy as much of, so they are just stored in their original packaging. We try to buy spices in bulk to avoid excess packaging, and storing your spices in a cool and dry place is also really important to make them last longer. In next cupboard, we have a chopping board that's made from off-cut wood, a nut milk bag, and a few kitchen linen towels that I made myself. And finally, here we have all our pots and pans. We have 3 pans from Scandipan that work really, really well, and that's one of the only things we got new for this apartment. So here I'm just showing you one of our empty drawers. This drawer we don't really keep anything in. We don't really have anything that can fit in here because we only have one pan for the oven and that works perfectly fine. In this next drawer we keep all of our bowls. So we have 2 bowls of each size and we think that works perfectly fine. On top of this drawer is where we keep our fresh fruit, but currently we keep most of it in the fridge because it's very warm here and we get a lot of bugs if we leave it out. Next under the sink is our cleaning cupboard. I love how clean and minimal this is. We just have a spray bottle with vinegar solution, extra vinegar, and baking powder. So I am originally from Sweden, so my family has been using these since I was very little. They're super easy to clean and they're also completely biodegradable. You can clean them in your dishwasher, in your washing machine, or if you don't have either, you can just boil them for a few minutes and that will completely sterilize them. So that is everything we use to keep our kitchen clean. In the next drawer is where we have all our containers for storing food. We try to keep our kitchen plastic free, so we have glass containers, some are secondhand and some are new, and this is what we use to store all our cooked food and leftovers. On top of this drawer, we have a random drawer which I think is made to put trash in, but since we try to not produce any trash and live a zero waste lifestyle, we keep these empty. Now for overhead storage. Here we store our dishwashing powder, any paper that we've gotten in bills or anything that we can reuse, and any packaging material that we can repurpose. The next cupboard is one of my favorite cupboards because this is our unwanted gifts cupboard. Here we keep our Vitamix, which is an absolute essential in our kitchen, but here we also store gifts that we've gotten that we won't use. For example, we don't drink alcohol, but instead we can give these gifts to people when we go to dinner parties or events. In the next cupboard we store dry goods and pretty much anything that doesn't have to be in the fridge. So here we have all of our whole grain pasta, tomato sauce, some spices, and then we also have some random seed packages in here because this is one of the driest places where I can store them. In the next cupboard we have some more dried food. Here we store all our legumes and we also have a little bit of salt here. One of my favorite benefits of minimalism and not having that many things is that we have so much space in our cupboard so we can store things like this a bit more airy and just makes it easier to clean and nicer to look at. In the cupboard on top of the stovetop, we store all our supplements and all of my teas. Here we also store my natural shampoo and conditioner that I buy in bulk from Kalia. And as you can see, I put down papers on all of our shelves and drawers because it makes it so much easier to clean because you can simply remove the paper and there is no residue or dust that's been collected. In this last cupboard, we store all of our glass bottles and jars. Most of these are secondhand or repurposed and we use them for drinking water on a trip, we use them to drink tea in the morning, and we use them to store food. And next up, and the last thing that we have in the kitchen for storage is our fridge. We like to have a super clean kitchen, so we clean out our fridge about once a week, and this is how it looks on a normal basis. Again, we like to be plastic free, so we try to opt for glass container or canvas bags, and that works really, really well. So as you can see, this kitchen is pretty minimal, but it does come with a lot of storage. We don't have that many things and we really like it that way because keeping the surfaces clutter free just makes it feel so much nicer to be in the kitchen. We cook all meals from scratch, including breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so we spend a lot of time in the kitchen. And despite cooking so much, I don't feel like we're missing anything in our kitchen. One of the best tips to keep the kitchen clutter-free, apart from cleaning it twice a day and keeping the surfaces super clean, is to not have any kitchen appliances. Now, kitchen appliances are bulky, they're difficult to clean, and they take up so much room. So not having any kitchen gadgets or appliances just makes our kitchen feel so much more minimal. I think the kitchen especially is one of those places where we just buy stuff that we think we'll use and then we never end up using them. So if you have anything that you don't use daily or even on a weekly basis, I think it's better to just do it out. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed following along on my kitchen minimalist tour. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up because it really helps the channel grow, and also subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to hear your favorite minimalist hacks for your kitchen, so please leave them in the comments below, and also let me know if there's anything you feel inspired to get rid of or acquire after you watch this video. So again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!